Here, confabulating, mind meandering, and just kicking things around. And we're still circled up here in the little studio, the little radio station on the prairie.
Here we are. Part 3. Mm-hmm. You're listening to Part 3.
And Casey has a burning subject on his breast.
I do.
Yeah. Smoking.
I don't know why. I just sometimes my mind just wanders and
You
goes
got one
off.
of them minds, yeah.
It does.
It's a dangerous thing.
And I've noticed lately that I hear a lot of people using adjectives to describe food or how good something was, and I got thinking I don't use a lot of adjectives, and I hear people say, somebody said, "Well, how was your meal?" And they say it was phenomenal. I don't think I've ever described a meal.
You never had a phenomenal meal?
As a phenomenal meal.
You've had them, but you didn't call them that.
Yeah, and watching a movie, it was good, really good, very good. I don't say it was amazing or it was. I don't do that. But,
bodacious.
What about y'all? Do you use a lot of adjectives?
I think we have gotten to the point where a lot of people overuse adjectives.
Until it loses its power.
Yeah, but power has something to do with it. Back when it was positive mental attitude and getting, having a step forward in business and putting forth this. How was your day? It was dynamite.
You had to sell something.
And if you didn't say dynamite, they would say, "Well, what's wrong? What's wrong? You sad? Something wrong? If you didn't say dynamite." There's a guy in town who does that. If you say, "How you doing, Mel?" and I say, "All right," and he'll say, "Oh, just all right." Yeah.
I think you're depressed.
Yeah. What's wrong, Mel?
Yeah. Well, we use adjectives to modify the subject, what you're talking about. Yeah. If you want to say it was a good time, a bad time, a fun time, or whatever. Otherwise, you just said, "I went out and had a time last night."
Yeah.
What kind of time did you have?
Good.
Had a lot of time. Had no time.
Yeah.
Well, I think my adjectives are good and very good, or.
And that's about it, huh? Limited.
I don't talk about things being amazing.
That was last week.
But I hear that so much now. Like, have you ever described something as being phenomenal?
I never use that word.
No.
I don't use that word.
What about amazing?
Hardly ever.
If I'm singing Amazing Grace.
I'm more like bodacious.
Yeah. Well,
I love bodacious.
I do use some kind of colloquial thing sometimes.
Well, sometimes using the adjectives like a bodacious, that's more to put a little bit of a funny spin to it, like
a southern spin.
Yeah,
a southern spin.
That's his style. That's that's Luke's bodacious guy.
Yeah,
loquacious.
Yeah,
loquacious. Yeah, that's what we get to be sometimes on here when we're not looking.
How about supercalifragilisticexpialidocious?
I didn't know what it means.
I think you missed part of that. Left part of that out.
I couldn't use it.
That's super. Well, it starts out with super.
Yeah.
I thought the Cali modified the super.
I don't know.
Califragilistic, yeah.
Expialidocious.
Each one.
But when you're writing, I do a lot of writing. If you're writing, you have to put those in there from time to time to kind of guide the reader.
Right.
You can't just say you went out and had a meal or whatever. You have to modify it there a little bit. So kind of, because you want them to get what you're trying to describe there.
You try to, sometimes when you're writing, you're trying to paint a picture with words.
Right.
Instead of, I woke up this morning, I went uptown, I said, I woke up to a beautiful sunrise and the birds were singing and there was a touch of fall in the air. And you want them to kind of really see what you're
setting the stage for it. You're kind of painting a picture for them to see. But
in my normal,
everyday
language.
Casey, you said that good is good enough for you, right?
99% of the time.
Or bad. If you have good, you got to have bad.
Our pastor yesterday talked about the word good. And he said, you notice the Bible didn't say it was very good, it was good. Or it wasn't super good, it was good. Good was good enough.
Good was good enough.
Yeah.
That's right.
Guten.
That's right. But
Goot.
I think
that's where our word good came from, was goot.
Right.
Or God, that's where God came from.
Yeah,
God came from good, yeah.
Good morning originally was God morning.
God morning, yeah.
Wow. I think the ones that use adjectives the most and overuse them and abuse them are probably salespeople.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because they really have to go out there.
They're selling themselves. They're selling their
Caroline.
project.
Huge.
Yeah.
That's right.
What's that guy's name?
I don't know.
Giggly
Billy Facillo.
Facillo. I see it written on the
Silly
screen, but
Facillo.
Silly thing.
I can't.
He sells. If you're listening to this and not from around here, he's a car salesman.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Sells
Hey, every area has them.
everything is
Has one of those car salesmen.
Yeah.
annoying.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's a shtick, but it works for some people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It really does. Really? Is that an adjective? It really works. No, it's not an adjective.
But I don't know. I wonder sometimes if it makes me sound stupid that I don't use adjectives more often than I do. And
Well, sometimes we say them without even thinking
yeah.
about it. Say a big old this or a big old that.
yeah,
Have me a big
good
old sandwich.
Oh, good. It was a good one.
It was
Yeah.
big. It wasn't old by any means, but it was big and old. We say it was big old, and that kind of is an
Yeah.
adjective there.
You know, I always had a problem when people you'd meet somebody and they would say, "How you doing?" And it's like, well, what should I say? I just
You say, "What business is it of
I
yours?"
say, "Fine, I'm doing good." But it was like that's never good enough.
Well, people always say, "Have a good day." They don't just say, "Have a day."
Yeah.
I don't say have a good
Have
day.
a good day.
I say have a good one.
A good one.
And so I think that kind of goes into a lot of things.
Have a good whatever you're having.
Yeah, good life, good day, good wedding, good marriage.
Good nap, good
Have
meal,
a good one.
good bowel movement. I mean, everything.
Yeah.
Everything's good.
Yeah.
Well, that's got to be good.
Yeah, well, it's necessary.
Yeah.
Everything's good. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, see, that's three adjectives that makes up a movie title.
Yeah. Very bad. Very ugly.
Yeah,
Yeah. The guy that played the ugly was ugly.
yeah,
Good,
That's
better,
right.
best. Never let it rest.
Yeah.
that's right. But where would we be without adjectives? But boring is how reading would be, I think.
Oh, it'd be awful.
Yeah.
It'd be terrible. It'd be so
It would
plain.
be
It'd be like
awful.
eating a bread sandwich.
It'd be
That's
terrible.
why
awful.
I love to read. That I begin to understand so much about the characters in books that I know what they look like.
Oh, yeah.
I know what they sound like. I know what they like and don't
From the
like.
description or from what you're seeing in your mind?
Well, I don't. It's a little bit of both. I start painting a picture in my own mind, so I guess it's part of me and part of the author. But I can see them because 90% of the time, if I go watch a movie and I've already read the book, and that
Totally
star
different.
walks out there, and I'm thinking, "What? That's not the right person for this part."
That's not how he was described.
You know, if we didn't have adjectives, we wouldn't have that one book, so and so's horrible, no good, very bad day.
Yeah, that was Dr. Seuss, wasn't
Yeah.
it? He wouldn't have any luck writing books because
Right.
he did a lot of those. But some writers can go overboard with their adjectives and descriptions. I think one that comes to mind most for me is Zane Grey, the westerns he wrote.
Yeah.
He'd take 2 or 3 pages to describe a cactus he was looking at.
Yeah.
And you're like, come on, get it over with.
And Steve, the horror writer, Stephen
Stephen King.
King, he was the opposite. He described things in very
Yeah, less can be more sometimes.
yeah.
You leave
Let
lots of
you
imagination.
develop your own
Right.
idea of what
Yeah.
it. Well, especially when you talk about scary things, the scariest things are in your mind.
That's right.
So if you just give that person a little bit of room to run with
Yeah.
something, and then they'll
Well, like in the older horror movies, if you didn't see the thing that was scaring the person, that was scary.
It made it
You know?
very scary.
Yeah.
There's an adjective for you.
Horribly, very.
Horribly, terribly, scarily.
sometimes we use things that are the opposite of what it really means, like pretty bad. It was a pretty bad movie.
Pretty bad. Bad to the bone. That's right.
What is pretty bad?
Yeah. Pretty bad.
Or he was pretty ugly.
Yeah.
How do you be pretty and ugly at the same time?
That is very odd.
Pretty ugly.
Pretty ugly.
We're down to 30 seconds. We're going to
Pretty
have to use some adjectives and get on out of here.
Let's scoot.
That's a verb.
Let's scoot fastly.
Let's make like the last donut in a coffee shop and get out of here.
I'm glazing over just thinking about it. We'll see you for the If Bomb.